This is Jordan Tower with JTNEWS. Well, don't you love it when Cameron goes on Instagram Live? It's always an event. Well, he went on Instagram Live yesterday and he was talking about Mase. And he was basically saying Mase became a pastor to get away from the violence. Now, he further clarified that. He said, Mase had great success in the beginning. He said, I'm younger than Mase, but when I looked up, Mase was like my partner. Like I knew him from nothing to something, and he got like $8 to $10 million and kind of lost his mind. He could handle it, but he couldn't handle it in a way. Like it's like everybody's asking you for something and this and that, and he said there was a lot of violence around him. So, Cameron said he was mad at the time for leaving. He was mad at Mase for leaving because that was his homie. But then he was like, I get it, because he said, you aren't going to have that violence and everything around me when I'm a pastor. When I'm a pastor, you guys are going to stay clear of me. And he said he was kind of smart for that, but he said all that divine goodness went away later when shit got quiet. He got right back to swearing. He also said, he said Mase in certain lines was saying, I had nuns in the back of the church humming my name.
Church, that nigga cursing. He said around, that nigga said, the nuns was in the back of the church humming my name. I said, this nigga is the illest right here, B.
He said, Mase is real ill. He's back on tour. He said that's, he was giving Mase props, but he was just saying Mase escaped the violence and everything, a rap and everything, by leaving. He said he couldn't really handle having $8 to $10 million at 22 years old. I mean, who could? That is a lot of money for that age. But it was funny to just hear Cameron talk about it. And we've known that they've had problems in the past, but it was really just due to lack of understanding, he always said. He didn't really have a real problem with Mase. That was his homie. They played basketball together and everything in Harlem and came up together. Then, Mase got a record deal first, then brought him over to Biggie, where he later signed to Cameron signed to Entertainment. So, Mase is kind of a part of, Cameron getting a deal, So, he's got love for Mase, But he was just explaining the whole... It was because it was wild. Mase came out crazy, He came out with Harlem World, blew up. Then he came out with Double Up album in 1999. Then he retired. He left, right after that. 2 albums in. Then he also had Harlem World. But Mase had it on fire, He was on Bad Boy Records. Double Up sold 107,000 copies in the first week, debuting at number 11. Then it reached number 5. Double Up, it featured more aggressive material, it says. It was a good album. That nothing was like Harlem World was the best though. That sold 250,000 the first week, and then it went 4 times platinum. That's people aren't going 4 times platinum anymore. That had crazy fucking songs on it. Feel So Good, Look at Me. That was a classic album, man. And then I remember when, after I think he came back in 04, he came back with Welcome Back. Then he left again. So he left in 1999, and he became on April 20th, 1999, during an interview with Funk Flex on New York. Hot 97, Mase announced his retirement from the game from a calling to God. Okay, they became a pastor. And he also went to Clark University in Atlanta. He went back to college. Then he became a pastor. Then he came back to rap. Then he did a second comeback, with G Unit in 2000. I forget what it was, 2007. I can't remember what year it was. 5. Tried to do something with G Unit. Then he tried to come back in 2009 again. Then he recently went on tour with Bad Boy this past summer. So long Mase career, of coming and going. If he had just stayed, it would have been a lot better. But yeah, I get it. And so Cameron was just giving him props. Anyways, what do you guys think about this whole thing? I thought it was funny. Anyways, this is Jordan Tower, reporting the news as much as possible daily.
Jordan Tower, Films. Jordan Tower, Films.